All right, I am here with the Gustavus women's basketball team, which just advanced to the NCAA second round with a 61-49 overtime win over Wisconsin Lutheran. Head coach Lori Kelly, start us off with some thoughts on the game.
Yeah, I think I'm going to start coloring my hair about a week earlier after tonight's game. I thought that for us, we didn't seem to kind of get in our groove. I think we struggled to kind of finish normal shots that we would around the rim. I thought defensively, even when we were struggling offensively in the first half, I thought we did a really nice job. We held them from one media timeout to the next media timeout scoreless. So I thought defensively, which we really hung our hat on, 45 minutes of play tonight, giving up 49 points. It's just, that's the difference. Am I happy about how we played offensively? No. Are we a better offensive team than that? Yes, we are. But we're sitting here today as the winners because of what we did on defense. And so I'm obviously really happy to have the opportunity to advance. I give a lot of credit to Wisconsin Lutheran. I mean, they came ready. They battled to the very last possession. I think the people in the stands can leave saying they saw a good basketball game. But for us, I feel like we can learn and grow a lot going into tomorrow about some things we need to change. But really proud of the young women sitting here today, and we're advancing because of these women. So yeah, real happy with it.
Coach, I was caught up in the press conferences from the previous game, and I didn't get settled in until about the 4:16 mark of the first period when things were tied up at 8-8. Even though you got a lead 20-12 at one point there in the second period, things still looked a little bit out of store for you guys. You couldn't get into a groove, and then they came back and closed the gap within a single possession there at halftime, and then kind of poked their nose out in front there for a while. What was going on from your standpoint, from what you could tell?
I just thought we looked lethargic on offense. Credit to them, we weren't hitting perimeter shots, and so they really were packing it in. They're undersized, but very quick and athletic. So when the ball did get inside, they were doubling and tripling right away. We weren't able to get some easy kickouts or easy shots. I thought we just looked like our tempo was slower than normal. So, for me, I feel like we were able to kind of find it. Overtime was kind of, you saw some Gustavus basketball. It's hard when we get stops, we typically score in transition. And we weren't getting easy transition scores, and when we were missing them. And when you have an open transition layup and you miss, it's deflating from an energy perspective. And it happened to us over and over throughout the game. We missed 3 or 4 pretty easy layups in transition, and I thought it kind of took our energy away. And when you talk about the end of the half, that was a run at the end of the half that I think they went on a 5-0 run right there at the end. So, again, a credit to Wisconsin Lutheran. It was a battle of the game, and I constantly tell these players that when you get into the playoffs, you get into the NCAA tournament, possessions matter. Unforced turnovers, easy layups, like those are the difference between advancing and not. We're 40 minutes away from going to a round of 16, which is the farthest our program has ever gone, on our home court, on Gus Young. So this opportunity, sometimes I don't even know if they understand how fortunate these young women are. These players that have been on the team 4 and 5 years have never known not winning a championship, where the majority of people prior to them never had that opportunity. And there's so many Division III athletes out there that just don't get to experience this. So we're trying to enjoy it as well. It's a special place to be. Credit to our Gusty fans, our alum, our local community. A lot of friends and family traveled to be here with our students on break. They really gave us an advantage, and I thought in overtime they were the ones that helped push us to the finish line.
You pointed out the quickness aspect. I thought that was really evident in that second half. They used their quickness to their advantage, and they really caused some problems for you. How did you adjust to that?
We for a while we took our bigs out and we went small. We went a little more quick, a little more athletic at one point. Sometimes I thought we got a little aggressive on defense, and we got hit on a couple back cuts or dribble drive. We just kind of, after a timeout, just kind of went back to the foundation of our defensive principles, how we were going to look to stop and how we could help stop that penetration. We made some adjustments on some switching and stuff, and I thought that defensively, again, we did a nice job in overtime, only giving up 2 points, and kind of found our groove. We started to make some shots we typically make, and you could see how that propelled us. And I don't think this team can shoot the ball 2 games back to back like that. So if we can battle through that, continue to play defense, make shots when we really had to. Show up tomorrow and be ready to go.
Emma, fourth quarter, you kind of shifted into a different gear there late in the game, hit that last three-pointer to seal 47-47 and send it to OT. What changed for you in your mindset going into that fourth quarter?
I just think there was one point in the fourth quarter where things were really chaotic. The score was still kind of like they would take a lead and then we would, whatever. And I just looked at some of the girls and I just smiled because I was like, that could have been our last game. And so I think I just wanted us to smile because we were playing so uptight. And so finally, I don't know what flip, I switched the flip and just flipped the switch and yeah, I don't know.
And Chell, overtime was big time for you, locked in. What happened there after that tie game? You're heading into an extra period.
It was after the timeout when they had the ball with like 0.6 seconds left. And I looked at Emma, I'm gonna start crying. But I looked at Emma and I said to her, I'm like, it's me and you, like let's do this. Like let's clutch up, let's finish this game because obviously everyone knows what happened at Charm last year and I think we were very uptight going into those overtimes as well. So we kind of just gave each other a quick smile and went into the overtime and I just remember going into post breakdown, you do these shots 1,000 times, and it's like, why not just shoot the ball? Like shoot the ball that you shot 1,000 times the last couple weeks or the 4 years you've been here. So I just kind of took that and stayed in the moment and slowed myself down and hit a couple shots, I guess.
And Sid, on the flip side, you had a really hot start, and then you're one of the only players making shots to start the first half of that game, and then back half was all defense for you. How do you navigate the change of role there?
Yeah, I think in the beginning, like, I was like, okay, like, somebody has to be the one to, like, make these shots and, like, to get our momentum going, like, we were slow, like, you had said. So I think for me, it was just, like Emma said, like, this could be our last, like, somebody needs to, like, take the reins and just say, like, I'm gonna do this. So that was, like, my mindset in the first half. And then when things aren't going in, like, just like doing your best to make the right cuts on offense, and honestly defense for me is what fuels me. Like defense is, a lot of people won't say this, but I love playing defense. Like put me on defense. So for me, like I just play my hardest on defense and that usually translates over to offense.
Before an NCAA tournament first round game, obviously you're watching film of your opponent. But is it still something of an adjustment period once you're actually on the floor with them, the familiarity aspect to really know and understand what they do and how they operate?
Absolutely. So when you play the people in your league, I mean, these guys have been playing against those Bethel girls, that are also in the tournament. You think about it, you've been playing them twice a year, probably the whole 4 or 5 years they've been here. You've probably met them up in the tournament. You kind of see the same teams, and as players and coaches, you become very familiar with those, and that's why it's hard sometimes in your league. When you play somebody outside of your league, even when you're watching film, you really don't know, if you don't know their players, it's difficult to tell really what that is. So I think until you get them on the floor, you get a better idea of their pace or their speed. I mean, for us, obviously, our focus defensively was on 44 on Margie Stevens. Like, she was coming off averaging, I think, 20 plus games over the last few games. She'd been taking over 20 shots a game to hold her to 7 points. I mean, we did some really good things defensively. And I mean, we went 17 for 20 from the free throw line. I mean, you think about the free throw percentage. I mean, that has been a kind of an Achilles heel throughout their career where we were not the top free throw shooting team in the league. If anything, we were in the middle to lower part. And so, knock on wood, wherever I am, we've done a really nice job, I thought, stepping to the line and finishing. We showed poise, and with 5, 6 seniors that have a lot of veteran minutes under their belt, I thought we showed poise when we needed it the most. And I think that this can help propel us now to really get ready to go and see a battle in Wartburg tomorrow in a tough game.
Chell, you mentioned the Trine game. Obviously, tough situation there. What do you guys think changed in the last year to get you over the line in this game?
I feel like we're just like a more physical team than we were last year. I mean, Coach Kelly, we played 4 YX schools, like she scheduled that for a reason. And it's because we get to play a more physical paced game. And coming into today, like we were talking about post-ups and just being, even on rebounds, just being more physical when we need to be. And I think the Trine game where you watch back on the film, like we were just not like that. Like we were very timid going for rebounds or timid posting up or not getting low. And I feel like today was like, we kind of set the tone with that, being physical. Even if there were rebounds that went out of bounds or whatever, we were still crashing the board super hard, and even if they tipped the wrong way, we were still trying to go for 50-50 balls, which I feel like we did not do very well against Trine.
Emma, a question for you. So we're fortunate in the league where Gustavus, fourth quarter, you don't see a whole lot of minutes as a starter. This is a complete shift for you, right? You average, less than 30 minutes coming into this game, and you just played 41. What's that? How do you navigate that feeling from going, from one end of the spectrum to the other?
Yeah, I think some of it's just adrenaline, but I think that we try to do our best in practice to make sure that we're playing at full speed so that we do kind of get that, that physical aspect of it so that you're kind of practicing as hard as you can to prepare for these games like this. But honestly, at this point in my career too, the media timeouts help a lot too. You get to rest a lot longer in that, so yeah.
I was gonna jump in.
Yeah.
Shout out to the media.
It does.
A lot of leagues, like they'll use the WIAC for example, they use those all season long. So for us, we're not used to that until we get to conference playoff time, and it is a huge advantage because you shorten your bench typically around. We both played about 8 kids tonight. If you look at what their minutes and our minutes were, 8 strong, and so, but they're getting 8 timeouts. And I hoard my timeouts. I'm really someone that doesn't typically use them in games very often. So, for them to get a break at each quarter and then you're getting the media plus the extra one, I think is a huge advantage at that point too. Because I asked Kylie that when she played 40 in the last game, and she said it's fine. I get all those timeouts. They're full timeouts versus the 30 seconds. So you're sitting down. I do think that helps from a recovery standpoint. I think we need probably some cold tubbing and some rest tonight, and hopefully we can get these legs to bounce back for 40 more minutes.
Any final thoughts before we wrap things up?
I'm just really grateful. I'm really, we left the floor at shoot around and we were standing there at the center circle at the Shield, and you just don't know if that's the last time. And I just am so grateful to have the opportunity to stand around that circle one more time. And they've dreamed of going to a Sweet 16. They're 40 minutes away. To do it on our home court couldn't be any better. So we're going to do everything we can, leave it on the floor tomorrow, and hopefully be able to do that.